Alright folks, so today I'm planning on getting the cable car up to the top of the Dajti mountains that surround the city of Tirana. That's them there behind me, so I'm going to try and get up the top of there today with the help of a cable car. Oh, and while I'm getting up, I'm going to tell you a funny story about a crazy person that I met while I was in Skopje in North Macedonia. Right, I'll start telling this story then about this crazy person I met in Skopje. So there was a bar that I'd been in the night before, and the bar staff were very friendly. I was drinking shots of raki with some of them. Okay, we're going. So Swabi.
Cheers.
Cheers. Let's go. Cheers. Next one. Thank you. So on my last night, I wanted to just pop into that bar and just have like 2 drinks before I got my bus back to Tirana in the morning. So I ordered a drink and I was sitting at a wee corner table, and I realised there was another guy on his own, and he seemed a bit drunk. He was like calling out to other tables. He seemed friendly enough, you know. It was just a bit of banter, like he wasn't being aggressive or anything or offensive. I could make out he had an Irish accent, and sometimes I'm just wary of guys that are out drinking on their own that are kind of shouting out to people like that. Certainly back in Scotland, I kind of call them lone wolves. I always try to avoid lone wolves if I'm in bars in Scotland. Lone wolves to me, that's guys that are just out on their own, drinking, looking to make pals. That's okay in its own, but from experience, it seems like 98% of them are actual psychopaths. Anyway, the barmaid comes over and takes my order for my next drink, and when this guy overheard my accent, he just like turned around with a smile on his face and then come over, plonked himself down across from me, and ordered in some raki shots. Now he seemed alright, to be fair, like, the guy seemed friendly, and he was. He had quite a thick Irish accent, so I struggled to hear him a bit, and he was speaking 100 miles an hour. And so I asked him but I managed to ask him like, what are you doing here in Skopje? And he tells me that he was here to get his teeth fixed, get his teeth done, because it's a lot cheaper here than other places. And then he smiled for me, and sure enough, I nearly got blinded. I was reminded of the expression, you could eat an apple through a letterbox. So I noticed that he seemed to be getting very drunk, very fast, and not before long he reveals to me, unprompted, out of nowhere, that he's been in prison before for a 4-year sentence. So I'm thinking, oh no, is this a crazy person here? But then he says, that was when I was younger. I went off the rails when my dad passed away, but I'm on the straight and narrow now. So I'm like, alright, okay. Fair play if he's turned his life around. But then, over a couple of minutes spell, he tells me that he's got cocaine in his pocket. And he asks me if I want some. So I tell him, no, I don't do that. I just really have a couple of drinks. And so he kept on going back and forth to the toilet. And he was just getting more crazy when he was coming back. He was like shouting over to tables round about us, just really drawing attention to himself. And I realised I'm going to need to get away from this guy, because I don't know how the police operate out here. And even if I don't have anything on me, if I'm picked up with this guy, I could get done as well. Then there was at this point there was a performer playing an acoustic guitar at the back of the pub, just playing songs for everyone. So this guy gets up, just kind of goes over to the guy and like interrupts him just as he's finishing a song, and he's like, "Oh, can I have a shot at that guitar, please?" So the guy was nice enough to let him borrow the acoustic guitar, and then he started going round and performing Oasis songs really badly and out of tune to some of the people at the other tables. So after he'd done like 2 songs, the guy was trying to get his acoustic guitar back, and this guy took an uncomfortably long time to give him his guitar back. Then he came back and sat at the table with me, and then it wasn't long before, just out of nowhere, he went on this pro-IRA rant, and he was getting really kind of worked up, like foaming at the mouth sort of thing. I thought, no way am I telling this guy I was in the Royal Navy. That's me heading back down now. There's actually a rotating lounge bar at the top here, but it's actually closed. So I'm a wee bit gutted about that. So, but brilliant views. That was good fun. Just heading back down the road now. Down the road, down the mountain. Woo-hoo. But anyway, back to this guy. So I realised, right, I need to just get away from this guy. I need to extract myself from the situation. So I just told him I was leaving, and I said my bus was leaving I made up a place. I didn't tell him I was going back to Tirana, because I was actually scared that he might try and join me or something. So when I left him, he'd sat himself down at a table with 2 girls, and he was just ranting and raving to them at 100 miles an hour as well. I could see they looked a wee bit nonplussed, and when I walked past him, I waved at him, but he didn't even see me. There was like drool coming out of his mouth and everything. He was just completely away with it. I'd be interested to see how his night ended actually. When I get to the bottom here, apparently a 3-minute walk away, it's a place called Bunk'art, and this is the nuclear bunker that the old dictator Enver Hoxha, he had it built for himself, and this was a place that he would have went to in the case of nuclear war. So it could be interesting. So this is the real genuine entrance into the bunker. Bye.